Welcome to our series, Exploring Esoteric Secret Societies. Through this series, we'll examine and challenge our current mindsets and understanding of esoteric teachings, and take an opportunity to do a deep dive into the importance to explore and review ancient knowledge and wisdom. The traditions of all mystery schools throughout time have been held together by a common thread, a common order of the wisdom knowledge keepers, known from our current post-Atlantean epoch as the Rosicrucian order. Now, even today, their knowledge is practiced by initiates with various organizations, such as the Masons, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and modern-day members of the Rosicrucian order. The Rosicrucian order is a philosophical and educational organization, not a religion. The Rosicrucians are mystics of enlightenment. They were a legendary and historical secret society that emerged in the 17th century Europe, claiming to possess esoteric wisdom and the power to reform religion, science, and the arts. Their origins are centuries old. While their existence is debated, the Rosicrucian movement had a significant impact on intellectual occult thought. They believe in secret wisdom traditionally passed down through ancient times that can transform humanity. By revealing hidden knowledge about the universe, the spiritual realm, and the natural world, they combine elements of occultism, Hermeticism, Jewish mysticism, and Christian Gnosticism. Key beliefs include the importance of spiritual advancement, selfless service, and the study of natural laws to live in harmony with them. Centuries ago, they were actually alchemists who used alchemy as an allegory for refining their qualities from the more dense to the more refined. In themselves, it's about personal transformation. Their core beliefs and practices begin with spiritual enlightenment, the pursuit of divine knowledge through transformation and mystical experiences. Alchemy as a metaphor, not just turning lead into gold, but refining the soul, transmuting ignorance into wisdom. Unity of science and spirit, they champion the harmony between scientific inquiry and spiritual insight, a concept that resonates deeply with modern holistic approaches. They also believed in universal brotherhood, emphasized compassion, interconnectedness, and service to humanity. Geometric light codes and symbols, as well as sound and light through the mystical semiotics. How does this influence modern spirituality? Rosicrucianism has profoundly shaped contemporary spiritual movements. It's through New Age philosophies, holistic healing, and even quantum spirituality. The Rosicrucians' view of the universe as a web of vibrational energies aligns with modern ideas about consciousness and the interconnectedness of all life. In a world increasingly hungry for meaning beyond materialism, Rosicrucians' ideals offer a timeless path, one of inner alchemy, cosmic harmony, and the sacred quest for truth. Welcome everyone to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. Hey everybody, it's good to see you. Sorry we missed you all last week. Had a little bit of an emergency, but got it taken care of. We're continuing our series, and with Nick, Doss, with the Rosicrucian. Sorry, a little bit rusty. Yeah, what can I say? we're continuing this series and the discussion on it, and we're looking forward to what Nick's going to bring to us today on all of this. Teresa, how are you? How's your week been going? How's everything?
I'm on a roll.
You're in the countdown. You're in the countdown phases.
Just a few days and I'll be on a plane.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Brian, how have you been?
On.
Yep.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Good.
Just looking forward to tomorrow.
Awesome. Yep. You have a retreat going on at your cabin.
Yes, I do.
That's wonderful. What is it you guys do at the retreat? Just get together?
Just different things. Like last year, I believe Jim may have did a little bit of past life stuff. Jim and Nick were doing tarot card readings. Ooh. We did some drumming.
Nice.
We also sat around and, gave the reason why we came down to this spiritual retreat and what we were wanting to get out of it. So, it's just a little different every year.
Nice. So a lot of like-minded beings getting together and talking about all things spiritual, and that's cool.
Yes, resting and relaxing.
Yep. Wonderful. Nick, how have you been? How are things going for you?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
But I'm doing good. I'm also looking forward to this tomorrow.
That's good. Yeah. I'll bet that'll make you feel a lot better too. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who we've got in chat. Say hello to everybody. Hey, Scotty boy. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see you in here. Wonderful, wonderful.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah. Let's see. I see you there, Chloe. Good to see you as well. Hope everything's going well. And Elizabeth Bauer, good to see you as well. Hope you have a great night. Yep. So yeah, let's get going. Let's get into this. So we're just continuing this series. If you haven't watched it yet, go to the playlist. This is kind of a long series, but it is just, there's so much information, so much to unpack. And that's why we've been getting into this, is we really want to bring this information out to you. And Nick's been doing such a great job on it. And thank you so much, Nick, for taking all your time and energy and putting it into this and allowing us to, share this with you as well and the audience. So also great big hug out to everybody in the audience. Hope you all are doing well. Yeah. Lucky Stone. Good to see you as well. Awesome. So I hear a little bit of feedback. Somebody's got their phone.
Somebody's got a ring.
Yeah, I fixed it. That was me.
All right, no problem. I did it earlier, so I'm guilty too. Like I said, I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple of weeks, so you get out of the thing here. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and dive in, shall we? I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up for you, Nick.
Dive.
Let's see. Why is that not coming up? Oh, all right. I could do that. Well, thank you for that. There we go. Awesome. So, Nick, we are getting into that. This is the fifth one. So what are we going to talk about tonight, Nick?
Okay, so tonight's topics are about the Ascension process. It dives into Lemuria and Atlantis a little bit more from previous chapters. Mm-hmm. And then the second part does a deep dive in aura. Ooh. So I'm going to be teaching everyone how to use aura for free. You're welcome.
Well, awesome. For free. Well, thank you, Nick. It's very kind of you.
Yes.
I love that.
Can I have the Christmas colors? The reds,
the greens,
if
that's
blues.
What you want, I'll teach you how to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, people are asking about Sophia. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see her soon. She's been a really busy gal getting it done. A lot going on for her as well. So she's just taking care of business. Yep. But she's good. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll be seeing her tomorrow. We're at me and Jasmine.
Excellent. Be sure to give her our love. Yep.
Okay. So let's start here.
Okay.
So, what is this? Part 11? Yeah, part 11.
Mm-hmm.
The soul's progress. So the number 7 appears again. The evolution of man is not limited to just Earth, but 6 other planets in total. The way I see it, this is a bigger macrocosm level to the microcosm level of 7 planes I taught in the past couple of episodes for those chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Rosicrucian teachings also claim that these 7 are linked and chained together by etheric forces. Like levels, our souls progress to the next planet and will go full circle several times. If you feel like this isn't actually home, this may be why, as you enjoyed a certain lifetime more on a different planet. This loop is less so a circle and more so a spiral, which is what represents in the picture here.
Mm-hmm.
Each reset of finishing a set of 7 being higher than the last. So you'll go through a cycle of 7, like how we are right now with the epochs. And
Mm-hmm.
once you finish that cycle of epochs, you'll go to the next planet. That's how it works. Or you can choose to do it all over again. It's up to you.
So some souls come in, like say the Earth School, they're still learning their lessons. They're doing it lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
Yep.
Or you could be on another planet somewhere else, existing as maybe an ET or something of that form over and over and over. I think the soul does get a little comfortable with it because they know what to expect.
Right. And then once you hit godhood, you kind of have full reign of whatever you want to do. Like Thoth, for example, for some reason he likes helping out this part of reality. Mm-hmm. So he's always constantly around. I don't know how many times he's looped around, but
yeah,
right.
Teresa has a comment.
More than once, but okay.
Yep.
Because you're getting ready to launch. You're getting ready to launch into this, and I wanted to get this out of for our listening audience who don't know much about the cosmic aspects of the journey. The ancient wisdom schools, the wisdom teachers, were passing down through the years the soul's journey as it pertains to the etheric aspect of a planetary body, not the physical planet that has all the matter and the material. We're not talking about the material cosmos here. We're talking about a layer of human development as well as spiritual development, so that each planet has a spiritual body just as we humans have a soul. And we journey together through this cosmic spin. And as we are going through our ascension stages, so too are the planets and the beings that inhabit those worlds in the spiritual realm. So we're not the only ones in school. We're not the only ones that are here on a spiritual journey, although Earth is one of the most densest of all the planets. But there are stages of development that we all go into synchronization with, and that's what Nick's going to be talking about. So when you hear him talking about progression of the souls through planets, we're not talking about planetary travel physically.
It's the energy of the planet, the energy that the planet gives off. Yeah.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there, Nick, because he does.
I have a feeling he's going to get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps for people to know up front.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree.
Because people get to thinking, well, I'm not worshiping planets. I don't want to listen to this. It's not about worshiping beings on planets, or that we're saying that they're occupied. We're saying it's on a spiritual realm. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
All right. So this loop that Teresa is talking about is less so a circle and more so a spiral. Each reset finishing a set of 7 being higher than the last. The book does not name the other 6 planets. My interpretation of that is because they are not literal planets. Rather, they are symbolism to express the spiritual transformation of the individual. One of the Rosicrucian secrets in plain sight. In Hermetics, however, they do have 7 symbols to represent this. And for history, I will go over them. So they use Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn to represent these 7. So the level up grind, that is basically a multi-layered MMO. Rosicrucians claim Earth is rather low on the chain. However, there are planets even lower, as Trace also mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This process has been a thing since the start of it all. From what I gather from this, it sounds like through the 7 steps, there are higher and lower versions of each 7 planets. So in certain dimensions, Earth has its different versions containing more strife or more bliss, depending on the ascension level. With how many times 7 is referenced, it's safe to say there are 7 versions of each planet as an educated / intuitive guess on my end, also showing the nature of the individual. These evolutions are how new forms manifest sometimes. A planet may only have the tier up to animals, but with enough loop arounds, level ups, completions, and realizations of ascension souls will start manifesting the human forms on that planet in due time. For an example, so the tedious work of the human, time to start noticing the magnitude of 7. Occultists call our excessive loop arounds simply rounds. The axiom, as in the great, so in the small, we find a corresponding series of spirals during the human sojourns on the earth. This means you don't simply get one life on earth, but rather at least one life in each of the 7 races to where you must live and work your way through, aka the 7 epochs that we've talked about previously.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, the majority is hitting the 5th post-Atlantis, but we are still currently on the 4th, since there are still some currently on the 4th round, also known as present Atlantis. This was claimed by the book in early 1900s. So as of today, I believe we are actually in the 5th ending point, transitioning into the 6th. In the past, a cataclysm of some kind always activates to reset and begin the next round. In other words, there are also 7 great resets. Personally, the more I look into this, the more everything is starting to feel like a game. It makes me pretty frustrated with how this system works, and is most likely why I resonate with gods who want to tweak or have awareness / access outside of the current material plane, like Nyx, Thoth, Tyr, Satanel, etc. Big reason why entities like that I resonate with very strongly. Whoever thought this level of traumatizing was needed for growth is, quite frankly, in my personal opinion, a sadistic psycho, in my humble opinion. It is why whenever I invoke the concept of God, I ask for the great creator that started everything, even outside this cosmic egg, even higher than the entity of Sophia / Brahma, and far beyond it. I'm just grateful for being hell-proof at this point, as it gives me the clarity in chaos where I can express and inform everyone around me the path of a better way. I understand why it has to exist, but I'd rather not participate in such low vibrational experiences with this newfound awareness I have reached, which, ironically enough, shows my soul's progression to a higher state of being, because I had to experience / inflict a type of hell to have the awareness to finally denounce it. That's how it works, people. So, the rounds of human. Round 3, Lumeria. There is little to say of the first and second round, as they were primitive. These versions were like of the cave dwellers, which is the first round, and the fire starters, the second round. They call the third the Great Improvement. That was led by advanced souls of the second, also known as the survivors of the second cataclysm. The seat of the third stage's biggest activity was the continent of Lemuria. Parts of this landmass now lies at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean and parts of the Indian Ocean, as it shows on this map. Lemuria's landmass included Australia, Australasia, and other Pacific islands. These portions were of higher elevation, while the lower points sunk. Lemuria was a very materialistic, indulging in physical senses, as this was the lesson of the third round. A lot of sex, a lot of good food, a lot of partying, That was just the main banquet of that round, because everything was ethereal at first, and now they had to see what it's all about. So yeah, they had a good time.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
What can you say?
yeah. The ones who rose above that, practicing mental and spiritual concepts, however, were the survivors to teach the fourth round. So basically, yeah, everyone was extremely materialistic in that round, almost everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But the occultists that were guiding the transition of civilization to the fourth round, which is Atlantis, they're the survivors of the third apocalypse. They were granted the privilege to pass the torch because they held the knowledge. This is how personas of legends, gods, and myths are born, because very advanced humans
Right on.
from the previous epoch teaches the more primitive ones.
That's true.
And to a caveman, if you're showing them how to heal a wound magically, they're going to think you're a god. That's
Yep.
the way it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something they never seen or experienced, so it
Right.
would be pretty wowing to them, I would think.
Yeah, especially
Like, here's fire. Here's how you create fire.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. Or like out in the Book of Enoch, how Enoch talks about getting put into a spaceship.
Yeah.
Symbolically, he calls it a chariot of fire, and you can see the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You can deduce what he means by that.
Right.
Yeah. So from my memory,
you mean if you're viewing it through a modern set of lenses, right?
Exactly. That's why when it comes to the occult, discernment is an invaluable skill to have and obtain and work on. It's very important. From my memory integration, the West Coast was also part of Lemuria, which also would explain to me the affinity surviving Lemurian lineages have with Mount Shasta. They are there. I tapped into them. They tapped into me. I got what I wanted out of it. So it's about enough said with that. My memory has also remembered it being spelled differently depending on the age, which I have expressed now and in earlier episodes if you haven't noticed it yet. In other words, there used to be way more landmass connecting Africa all the way to the U.S. West Coast. So, the inheritors of Lemuria, round 4 Atlanteans, the story I've shared for a very long time. With the passing of Lemuria arose the fourth race, the lead of this being Atlantis and its people. Atlantis was situated in a space that is now the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic. It's I don't know how to make it more obvious.
Right. Atlantic, Atlanteans.
Yeah. Starting from the Caribbean Sea, ending at Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Cuba and the West Indies being some of the highest points of Atlantis geography that did not sink. Atlantis was extremely advanced. Rosicrucianism claims they were more advanced than even current civilization, and they are right.
Mm-hmm.
I can confirm this.
Yep.
This was due to the survivors of Lemuria. They figured out to prolong their lifespans by an incredible degree, thus being able to teach and show through actions in the flesh what they learned to the Atlanteans. So Atlanteans didn't start from scratch. They start from a huge advanced civilization that got all the knowledge handed to them on a silver platter. From what I remember, these lifespans were exceeding 6 figures. My persona of Thoth, being one you know well, was one of them. And there's other names. Axio during the time of Lemuria. Zero being one of my earliest, where huge great world trees were still around. That was during the time with the Infernal Dragons. I used to exist since, I know this because I was one. Other names of note are Hermes, Shektek, Arlich, and Vomolitzes to show this validity. My current being Nicholas, and none of these being my true name, the novice occult student would think it foolish I would share such information. The advanced ones know these are extra layers that keep your true essence protected. This tactic hits multiple targets of my goals. Proof to the new student of metempsychosis, and the declaration to the advanced students of mine showing them I am, in other words, back. Any magician worth their salt never shows the card that is your true name to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
For reference of why, look into the drama between Isis and Ra when Isis obtained Ra's true name.
Is this at a time when you're talking about Atlantis inheriting Lemuria?
Yeah.
Wasn't it right around this time that the spirit of the earth, or the soul of the earth, if you will, separated itself from the sun and the moon? It was before we had the human characteristics that we have now.
Yeah,
It was early on, early Atlantean society. We hadn't fully evolved yet as humans that we are now.
From what I gathered, it started way sooner than that. From what I gathered, it started from the second epoch and the beginning of the third, because the Hyperborea was it the boreal area that was first? It was the boreal. Boreal was the first one where all the energy mass is put together, and it's just a giant mass in the egg. Then in the Hyperboreal, that's when it started cutting into pieces. That's when individuality started forming. But then in the third epoch of Lemuria, that's where everything fell into matter, and everyone started getting even more individualistic.
Do you remember the Rosicrucian you're one of your favorites, Max Heindel?
Mm-hmm.
He says humanity was more ethereal during the Lemurian and Atlantean epochs both.
Yeah.
The spirit or ego united with the physical body and developed red blood, leading to the development of self-awareness. And our first human forms were starting to come into being in the Atlantean epoch, because that's when they started experimenting with DNA and trying to figure out how to form who we are now. What you're describing here is a very advanced modern civilization of etheric spiritual beings that haven't fully developed into our heavily dense matter.
When the souls of Lemuria fell, they didn't forget that wasn't a concept yet. It wasn't ever supposed to be one. So they were tapped into everything. They were finding and that's one of the reasons why Lemuria was so materialistic, because they were learning what material actually is. They were indulging in it as a learning process. And they found out how to perfectly balance the two. They shared it with Atlantis using dark magic and taboo science messed up that balance, and is why it's such in disarray today in our epoch. And our epoch is all about trying to heal that. And in my opinion, we are healing it. It's just there's a lot of people that are resisting. So who knows?
Or they're not ready.
Mm-hmm. They're not ready.
They may not be ready.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the last program when you were talking about reincarnation. You had
the metempsychosis.
Yeah, about how we keep going through these spirals or these cycles. And each time we go through, we only get so far with our initiation, then we go back and do a rinse repeat. But sometimes we extend our experiences, and we try to, we keep trying. So eventually, though, the whole concept here is that you will spiral out into your true nature. Is that what you think is it like a return to Lemuria?
So when I went to Mount Shasta, everything was woodlands, but I wasn't seeing woodlands. I was seeing buildings, skyscrapers, buildings meshed into the volcano, the Mount Shasta volcano. What I was seeing was completely different from what Jerry and Jasmine were seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just popped up out of nowhere, and I was showing physical proof that I was seeing what I was seeing, because I picked up a bunch of tree branches, and they just so happened to me, they didn't look like tree branches. They looked like they looked like my crown. They looked like my scepter. They looked like my sword. And I just popped out of nowhere on them. They thought I was Bigfoot for a second, and they looked at me. They're like, "What the hell? Where did you get all that? Why does it look like what he's describing?" So it was a really trippy experience. I felt like I got a homecoming during that entire experience.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was.
But if we follow this evolutionary spiritual thought process here for a moment for Ascension, in a way, what we're doing is we lost sense of who we were as we fell into matter and became more and more earthicized. We became more embedded into earth. And so our ascension involves going back to the original knowledge of who we really are that we experienced in the Hyperborean and Lemurian and early Atlantean periods before we corrupted, before we got so dense. Now, eventually, that cycle comes to an end once we've reached the higher, more advanced levels, even beyond what we knew then. It's who we've evolved into through our experiences now. So it's not a complete return to our state of being as it came into the matter through the Hyperborea and then Lemurian. It's going beyond that. It's going back to the original source, to our true divinity, our true divine God nature. So it's on that highest plane that you described in the unfoldings on the last program.
Yeah.
So we actually evolve into that and can break that spiral. Don't have to keep repeating it. Don't have to keep reincarnating.
Yeah.
Because eventually we come to the full awareness of our full highest spiritual consciousness.
Yep.
Which is that we are the one.
Yep.
I am.
Yep. Remember in the last episodes we were talking about how we are working on to become demigods, essentially.
Right.
That's the next step. So that is part of the process, yes. So we regressed and now we're going back up, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just how it's supposed to work.
Ascending again.
That's part of the universal laws and its realities, because it's necessary to learn the lessons. It's what it's all about. Yep. Not even the gods can go against universal law. They are subjected to it, just like everyone else that is also within the cosmic egg.
Universal truth. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we good? Are we good? Ready for the next slide?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
The Atlantis downfall. A father's sin passed down to their son. Due to Atlantean arrogance and practice of black magic, their era ended gradually and harshly to where almost all of its is lost underwater. The chosen of both Lemuria and Atlantis to this day still keep the flame alive. As I mentioned, the Lemurian survivors figured out how to exponentially increase their lifespan. Some of them are still alive today. That's how ridiculous it is. So they're all the way from the fourth epoch, and they're now currently seeing the sixth epoch unfold. No different with the Atlanteans that were chosen, that didn't choose to stop. Who did choose to not stop the reincarnation. To stop the reincarnation. What am I trying to say? The Atlanteans that decided to, unlike me, to keep their current life instead of doing the reincarnation process, they've been still around since this very moment. And they have everything. They still remember everything. Where people like me who decided that, no, it's more healthy to do the reincarnation process. It's there for a reason. We have to age again. And it's usually like how they explain in the Bible when Jesus started tapping around 30. It's not till you hit your adulthood when you start tapping into all that stuff and starting to remember. Some people learn later than others. Some people learn sooner. I think we talked about that already, but
yeah,
it's just part of the process.
Right.
Yeah. So the chosen migrated to Central and South America. These souls are the ones the fifth race deified in current mythology. The stories that I have been teaching bits and pieces of in this series to show the true history of man. Fifth race evolved rapidly from the desire of past Atlanteans wanting to be born again, some to rectify themselves, others to continue where they left off in the corruption. I suppose that's why I teach so openly. Many would think throwing pearls I have acquired to the masses to be wrong, but the way I see it is if you perceive humans as only animals who can't learn how to utilize truth, wisdom, and knowledge correctly, you are already failing as an occultist. Forgetting that what you think is what you create. Many
Mhm.
think me saying this is arrogant, yet they are the ones behaving like they are above all creation. Even when they are taught that isn't how this works, just because they were granted the privilege to see a bit more than their peers. This is my attempt to get a bigger pool of elected so they can avoid the trauma of the next cataclysm and cleansing the corrupted Atlantean souls. If I had my way, there wouldn't be any need of a cataclysm for one to advance to the next step. I, however, understand how selfish that ideal is and see how some have made choices where they have to go through it. I'm saying this in advance because there is still time to reverse it. The fact I'm not even the only one in newer generations going this route about it is, in my opinion, the physical proof. This is the all's will saying it is time for less secrecy and more inclusion. Why? Because we have
Amen.
gained the start of a majority planetary consciousness that no longer needs a cataclysm to fix it. I plan on playing my part to keep it that way. I and others like me are the embodiment of ushering in the 16th Epoch. This is my warning to the bloodlines of the elected. Just because you are descended from the past elected doesn't mean you will be elected to survive the next catastrophe. The choosing process transcends ancestry. If you have turned privilege into corruption, it would be wise of you to start repenting and mending the damage you have caused before you meet a terrible fate. The false elites think they are safe, building so many bunkers, making plans to escape to Mars, and so on, thinking they are clever enough to avoid the consequences of their actions, not realizing all they are doing is making their own graves for themselves and their offspring, even deeper than what it already is. I have seen this fallacy in man practicing government more times than I would care for over my many lifetimes. Ancestry isn't what makes you great or lackluster. Your choices are what make or break you.
Amen to that.
So, being creatures of circumstances. Throughout our history, we have always had the rise and fall of civilizations. Most of the people in this wave have no real awareness of why this happens, the leaders even being puppets of destiny. When a nation declines, it is because the advanced souls of that nation leave for the next step. They passed the lessons already. They didn't decide to stay, they decided to move on. And when they leave, they take their wisdom with them, leaving the less mature ones to their own devices. Ascended masters who have already passed the material tests then come in to guide and support, like Thoth and Nyx, among others, working with me as an example. The 6th round we are currently transitioning to will be at a level that will look like perfection to the prior rounds in wisdom, goodness, and enlightenment. But as you all know, 6 isn't the last step. So once we've transitioned to that, don't be Icarus flying too close to the sun, because we're not there yet. The book claims it can't even describe the 7th, as it is to advance even for the 4th round of lead occultists to forecast. So basically, the people of Atlantis that have the knowledge of how all this is going to go down, they can't even describe 7th Epoch because they were on around that was too early to comprehend it. However, for an example, something like a 4th rounder can be leveled up. They would then be considered an artificial 5th rounder. This is the advantage of being adept in the occult teachings. You'll often be ahead of your time, but this is also why people like that feel alienated and misunderstood. Few may recognize your, or my genius now, but their descendants will notice, and with it, they can build on that foundation, making ideas we wouldn't even think possible in our current state. And that is the end of part 11. Now we are on to the part 12 of the Aura Colors.
Question for you, Nick.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You were just describing, again, the Rosicrucian perspective and the anthroposophical perspective of the evolutionary arch. And I was explaining it to Lori before the show, but I think it's a real good way of rounding up what you were just describing here.
Yeah.
There is within each one of these 7 phases, if you will, another subset, another sublayer of things that are going on in a 7 unfolding. And the epochs, there's society, civilization epochs, and then there's the individual arc, evolutionary arc in our relationship to the planetary energy bodies. So having reached its densest point, and this is from Max Hendel again, Rosicrucian, the soul and planet begin their upward spiral ascent, as Nick was describing. You folks out there have heard us talking about new Earth, new Jupiter, the 2 spirals spinning off in one direction versus the other. Nick pretty much summed it up. If you make some choices and choose the red path, spiraling in one direction, you won't complete your ascension, and you're not helping the Earth with its ascension. You don't have to choose the path of catastrophic events. You don't have to make the choice to help bring about the demise of the planet. We have evolved consciously to the level that now in our Jupiter period, in our new Earth phase, moving out of the Atlantean epoch and into the Jupiter period, we have the ability to become more refined, to elevate our consciousness, become more psychic, develop those psychic skills, cultivate your wisdom and spiritual insight, which is why we're doing this program, which is why Nick got into it so deeply too. It's his journey as well. But then there's the Venus period coming up, where the soul continues to transcend material plane, focusing on love, harmony, and transformation. Many of us are in that Venus arc already.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Vulcan, the final stage of evolution, where the human spirit has developed into its more godly status and reintegrates all aspects of its beings into a unified whole, reaching the highest state of spiritual consciousness. So this evolutionary journey is tying into, and we take respite in other planetary energies. I mean, I will sometimes go to another planetary world in my dream state, or sometimes I'll do it in a journey in astral traveling, and I will tap into beings from other worlds. I don't call them aliens. I don't see them as, the traditional ufology description. I see them as an energy aspect of myself at a higher level of consciousness. But I also see them as additional beings that have been through the process themselves so many times that they've elevated their consciousness to a level where they can now guide me. Mm-hmm. So when Lori and I go deep within to our root source energy field within our own bodies, within our own soul, we are actually tapping into a numerous amount of not only our previous experiences here on Earth, but also other actions with other beings who have been through the same thing. But sometimes it's other aspects of ourself. I have an aspect from Mars. We have aspects from the Pleiades, right? We have aspects from
Arcturian.
So both the angelic realms and those realms from those other worlds.
Yeah.
And so this time through our spiral, we're coming closer and closer to our Vulcan period, highest state of spiritual consciousness. And that is to eventually be the one. We are the one, but it's the full realization of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this teaching that Nick gave tonight before he gets into the auras. This is what's so critical and what's so important about the information he just shared with you, because it's a major decision that each and every one of us need to make. Mm-hmm. And as to whether or not we make it in this lifetime, this time through our cycle, or maybe we're going to come back. But really think with your remaining years, and some of you are so much younger than me, you're probably thinking, "This is old lady talking about." No. When you get to this stage in your life, when you hit your 60s, even when you hit your 50s, And Nick, and that's why these young ones like Nick and the others are hitting this point sooner than we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why that round of consciousness is gaining ground.
Yeah.
So more and more of the people that are coming in, right, Lori, is the
Mm-hmm.
wave.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
So they're at a much more attunement with this. It's taken us a little bit longer to get here, but
Yeah.
eventually we all come to a point where a decision has to be made. How do I want to live my life?
Right.
How do I want to experience the quality of my now? What thoughts am I using? How am I creating my existence? We exist.
And what do you want to
Therefore,
focus
we
on?
are.
Where do you want to
Where do you
put your
wanna
focus? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway,
So before we start, if anyone in the audience has some questions, I can wait a little bit to see if someone has anything, because what I just laid out is some pretty heavy stuff. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'll give everyone a couple minutes to think about it.
Yeah.
And if you got anything specific you want to ask, I'll do my best to explain it.
I like how I want to thank you, and I kind of like how you're presenting it as not as Nick, not as Thoth, not as anyone, but as your fully integrated, understanding, conscious being of who you really are through those characters and through those emanations that you've had, and you're sharing your memories and experiences.
Yes.
And that's very important, because that's what this what people don't understand about esoteric or the mystical side of things is that we believe in the things that are not documented in history, the things that aren't necessarily seen with the human eyes,
Mm-hmm.
the things that we don't experience in the material realm. Oh, well, that's just all hearsay. You people are schizophrenic and making things up. Oh, really? Then why is it that time after time after time we've been right about certain things and events?
Yeah. What's the
It's
difference?
because we are tapped in.
I got a joke for you. What's the difference between a
Good.
conspiracy theory and the truth?
What?
6 months.
6 months. It's about right.
Mm-hmm. Proofs in the pudding. Proofs in the pudding. Yep.
That's about right. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. So it doesn't seem like anyone has any questions that I'm seeing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get into the fun part, that because this is more woo-woo and everyone likes the woo-woo.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Steve and Jackie J. Hi, Steve. Hi, Jackie J.
All right, so part 12, the aura and the auric colors. One of the more interesting points of the Rosicrucian teachings to the average student is the topic of aura, also known as, by the occult, the psychic atmosphere of the human individual and the astral colors which manifest in that field. It's invisible to ordinary sight, but visible to clairvoyant vision. So if you want to literally see it, work on clairvoyance. A person's aura is the emanation from the soul, or souls, of the person whom it surrounds. It is akin to the rays of the sun or the fragrance of flowers. It is more so energy than matter, albeit it can be considered a very subtle form of matter. It extends roughly 2 to 3 feet from the body, all around, forming an egg. If you ever done things like shielding or Reiki, that is utilizing your aura.
I'd like to make a comment about the aura. So the aura can change. You don't have the same aura all the time. Brian, remember way back when you had that picture taken and at All My Relations, and you were coming off of like a real hectic day or something, and your aura color was a little different than what it normally is? Your aura does change periodically depending on your mood, your attitude, and what's going on.
Yes.
Do you agree there?
Yes, I actually go into that.
Okay.
So there's 2 things that influence it: your mental state and what you're feeling.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll get into that.
Brian, it's just interesting because Brian had a picture taken, and that was one of the first times I realized that it doesn't stay the same all the time. And so when he showed it and then we saw what the color was, it was just very interesting. You remember that, Brian, right?
Oh, yes. I do believe it was green and purple.
Yeah. And something was really going on. And then your next one was completely different from that. But that was the energy that you were in at the time. Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, you're gonna find out what that means.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How psychics read your mind. Quotations. Human aura is comprised of multiple elements, both low and high. Just like how individuals are distinct, so are their aura. Occult practitioners advanced in clairvoyance can read you like a book, as they understand the symbolism of the shapes and patterns you emanate. Hence why I've learned how to become invisible to them, unless I give them consent, like Jim and Sophia. Being a few examples.
You mean you can mask it? You can block it?
I've met many who get stumped and surprised on why they can't read me, and they get curious and try. They simply haven't realized they stumbled upon a master of masters. That's all. Psychics can do other things with auras as well, like extending it, retracting it. This is how things like remote Reiki is possible, which is a talent Jasmine has picked up on, doing it to heal and communicate with animals.
Yeah.
So she's been doing animal communication from a distance.
Nice.
So this is a way of manipulating this energy field that she's doing. So
good job, Jazz.
I agree. She's been doing a good job.
Yep.
These are a few examples of why creativity and imagination are important in this field. This energy is fluid, and you can do a lot of things with it if you are clever enough. That's how the real magic begins, along with a new tier of suffering if you misuse this gift. So yeah, don't forget that. that last bit was extremely important. You saw what happened to Atlantis.
Well, those animals, that contact with the animal kingdom is just so important. And even the plants, is if you can communicate and remember what it was like to be them, and then all the lessons they have to teach us. It's a good starting point if you've never connected to anything outside, inside from deep within. So practicing with the animals actually brings you great wisdom and encouragement and can make you stronger psychically, so that you learn how to do the different, tune into the different vibrations. It's a good way to practice. And that'll get you in touch with other spirits, other entities, other beings, because you'll know how to tune yourself. So.
Also, hugging a tree sounds kind of crazy, but
I've done it. It works.
The most grounding feeling you can have. Yeah, it's amazing.
You can do it with rocks too, not just trees.
Yes.
For rocks.
Yeah.
You become
putting
a rock
your
hugger.
feet in the grass, connecting to Mother Earth.
Hold them and I do too.
I brought it up before, but the sequoias, the red sequoias, when we went there, like those trees were so old, they kind of opened my senses to them, and I could hear them talk. And it's not like how we are talking; it's like they're like playing a melody.
Yeah.
But I could understand what they were talking about, which was weird. It was like I was translating their sounds into English.
Yeah.
Both the trees and the rocks that were there. So that was a pretty cool experience. It kind of shows you how much nature energy is in that place. So if you ever get a chance, go to Mount Shasta, go to the red sequoias. Great experience. So
nice.
I'd love to go to Mount Shasta.
Yeah. So here are some characteristics of the aura. The lowest element in aura is called physical emanation by occultists. It stands to attention like bristles and almost colorless. When someone is sick, these bristles droop like animal fur instead. As we move about, minute particles of it fall off, and is how animals like dogs can track our scent. Another low element is what we call as vital energy. To clairvoyance, it looks like a faint pinkish glow, sometimes filled with sparks and higher magnetism, depending on how magnetic the person currently is. Sometimes it is visible to the naked eye. It shows itself in a form similar to vibrating air, like what you see from stoves or pavements on hot days.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide, we will go over the auric colors, which represents the elements of a person through the spiritual and mental aspect of themselves. It will be seen that there is an infinite amount of shading within these colors, showing the uniqueness of each individual. Table of the auric colors. It is important to note that every color has a positive spectrum and a negative one. You can notice where it falls depending on if the color is bright or dull in its shade of being. However, for accuracy's sake of the Rosicrucian teachings, I'll be going over what the book teaches. So the color black signifies hatred, malice, and revenge. The color gray is when it's bright, means selfishness. When it's dark, it means melancholy or terror. Green, so bright, indicates diplomacy, worldly wisdom, suavity, tact, politeness, and polite deceit. Muddy shades of green show low deceit, low order trickery, low cunning falsehood. Dark or dull shows jealousy or envy. Well, that's a synonym, jealousy and envy.
How do these relate so far to your training in as a Reiki master?
So my strong suit isn't clairvoyance. My strong suit is clairsentience. So instead of like seeing the colors, I can feel them, and that's how I translate them.
That's like, okay.
Whenever I'm
You, Lori.
whenever I'm
Yep.
super tapped in, though, I do see the colors. I've even seen my own before. So like, and then I've also seen like other times when I'm tapped in, but not like super juiced up, where it looks like the vibrating air, like it looks like heat coming off of a person. It's like the mid ground. So
Brian, Grandpa Brian, are do these kind of key in with and agree with what your experience has been?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
Especially when doing Reiki, like Nick, I really don't see the colors as much as I feel the colors
Feel
or
it.
feel the energy.
Teresa, you see auras.
Yes.
What do you see on the panel?
You mean with each one of you?
oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Well, with you, you're typically have a little bit of indigo in with your purple, but you also occasionally uh, the red will come out occasionally, but it's very pale compared to your blue and purple auras. You also have some gold in there too. So, and I have seen that progress over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
You used to have more blue. You used to have more blue and greens, and have evolved and ascended, and you get really bright shoots of indigo, blue, violet, but I see the green and yellow highlights. Very little red now.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you bring out the red is when you're expressing yourself on a more physical way with people.
Mm-hmm.
More empathetic. You're showing great empathy, and also you might be having an interaction with someone, an interconnect, and so your energy changes. And I see some of the red coming through. It's your passion coming through your root.
Mm-hmm.
And then you easily transcend that. With Nick, it's pretty much similar. You have a lot of the same patterning.
Mm-hmm.
I think you tap into a lot of the same energy, and I think you have more of the uh, ancient wisdom coming through. But Nick is still developing, so he has a thinner band. It's not as thick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to say none of you have this gray black.
Yeah.
None of you have that. And then Grandpa Brian has evolved too, because I've known him for some time now. And his aura has really expanded beyond the reds, the pinks, the yellows, and it's gotten richer in tone, broader in band, and it has grown. I've seen more of the blue and purple in him now too. So actually, we're not all that different. The folks on the panel, even Sophia, I have seen her just busting out the purple,
Yeah.
busting out, especially when she's tapping in. So almost everybody on this panel, Jazz is another one. We all have a very thin inner, it's one of the closest to our body. Is that thin red band that goes up and down our spine, and with the yellow, the red and the yellow. But as we're working through this transformation, we get more green and yellow, and then the blues start coming in, and then the purple. So just about everybody on this panel has this purple. And I don't get to see a lot of folks who are in the chat room or who are part of the community, other than when they do a selfie. And I can see auras and pictures too.
Wow.
So when you look at a photograph and you just see the face, I can see the colors around your face in a photograph. Not always, but lots of times I can. Depends on what kind of energy you're putting out when that picture was taken. But sometimes the camera will catch it. And no, it's not a photo lens flare. It's me reading that picture. And the next time I see that picture, I might not see your aura.
And
But
Polaroids are
sometimes I
the
see
best to capture the auras. I've had it done years ago,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, now see this person on the right that Nick shows? She has more of a rainbow type thing going on.
Yeah.
That's you a lot. You're like rainbow. But then when you're really concentrated on your teaching, like Nick is right now, both of you get the purple and blue, like his background on his chart back there.
Yeah.
You both get that. See the pink and the purple and the blue?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Huh.
So if you look at that guy in the middle, as you're doing this program, whenever you're on this program, it gets stronger in both of you. But when you and I are one-on-one, you're more like the rainbow here.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Trippy.
But you've evolved because you used to be more towards the other end of the scale, but now you've gone way, way past it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Barry Chad.
Well,
I used to see more of the earth tones with Barry Chad. And now I feel, and I don't get to see him because Barry doesn't share his image a lot. But I feel Barry's energy, and he has moved from the browns and the yellows and the more into the green and rainbow. He's getting more and more of the rainbow, but he stays in that. Whereas you pull out of the rainbow periodically, especially when you're having a teaching moment, or when I know you're working on the videos that you create, or the paintings that you're doing. Or you're tapping in and doing an automatic writing, or you're tapping in and doing a channeling or something, which you bring in spirit, you get a more solid, wider band. This blue.
I feel like it's kind of like the soul's fingerprint, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's always changing. Like the colors that you're saying about for me is backed up by my guide, because oftentimes I'll say, well, what is my aura? And he'll give me the colors, and you're exactly what he said to me. So that's fascinating to me. It's just the energy that your body puts off. Yeah.
I could tell when another human being that I've met in the store or at a bar or at a restaurant, or I could tell when they're coming on to me because they're just so red. And they don't know that I know. It's really freaky if you go on a job interview.
Good skill to have.
You're sitting down, or you're meeting with a lawyer, or let's say you're meeting with a counselor or a lawyer or settlement company, whatever, a realtor, whatever, and you sit down across the table from them and you see, I had a guy in to give me an estimate on my roof. He was trying to sell me he was even trying to sell me timeshare.
I remember that. Yeah.
I want a freaking roof, and but we can give you a cruise, or we
the
can
stars, the moon,
it's our timeshare, but we want to share it with you. I'm like, oh, you do you?
Yeah.
And he was getting more and more red the whole time.
Wow.
He was getting red with me, and I'm like, okay, you can leave now.
Oh,
He's
he was
more
getting,
interested in.
yeah, he was
He's
getting
more
angry.
interested. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
see it.
Because you weren't
But I could
playing.
also, I wasn't playing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sometimes this kind of comes in handy when you have the ability to do it, because you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see. It's not that you can understand. You don't necessarily know what they're thinking, but you can read their energy and know if it's good for you or not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that's
And
how
what
they
their
do it in
intent
medium.
is.
Yep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's how they do it in mediumship. They're not literally reading your thoughts in your head.
No.
They are seeing your auric colors, and
Uh-huh.
they are using their discernment to figure out what's going on with you, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why it's all creepy and accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to, if you're interested in the some of the red passionate side of things, okay, well that could work in your favor. But on the other hand, if it's like, get away from me, you creep, you know, and 9 times out of 10 with me, it's get away from me, you creep, you know. No, I'm not interested. Bye. You know.
Mhm.
But yeah, you had to go and ask. But yeah, healers have a lot of green, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
Healers have a
Yes.
lot of green, so all
Yes.
of you have that nice thick rays of green. And I haven't seen you work. I haven't been next to you when you've performed Reiki on someone else, but I can pretty much guarantee you're putting out a lot of green.
When I've actually seen that color. My green is like a mint green.
Uh-huh.
It looks like the color mint. That's the best way I
Mhm.
describe it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Fascinating.
and it usually has a layer of like royal blue
Yeah.
with it. So yeah.
And it's
Cool.
not like I can sit there like, you know, going through an amusement park and seeing all the colors of all the bright light. It doesn't happen like that. You catch glimpses.
Yeah.
It's not like I could stand there and hold that energy with you long enough to read. It just it comes.
Have you always
comes-
had that where you could see that even when you were younger, or is this since you've developed yourself a little more?
It's ever since I had the bus accident.
Yeah. Okay. You're NDE.
Yeah, back in 2010.
Okay.
And then I had a
And
head
that's a
injury before. A head and neck
common
injury.
theme with NDEs. It's common for you to have those types
Yeah.
of abilities, but I think it's just that you're tapping into it because of the trauma and what you went through. It opens you
Maybe.
up, so to speak. Yeah.
I've had
Mhm.
a couple of I had a head and neck injury too.
Yeah.
It was a very close call when I was in middle
Mhm.
school, my
Okay.
middle school years. And
Yeah.
that caused me to start seeing or experiencing things psychically, like a visitor who used to come visit me periodically. I now
Okay.
know who he is. I now know
There you
who he
go.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And other things, you know, other things that I was remembering, like this entity of Great Mother that I always connect with.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother tried to tell me it was a figment of my imagination or something else. But yeah, so I've had bits and pieces of it all along, but the ability to actually see the auras started happening around that time, right after the bus accident. And so, of course, from a medical perspective, they're going to say it's your brain function because you lost. I had a traumatic brain injury. It was really bad. It took me years to come out of it. So I still have issues. But the point is that not enough to be bothered with. But
Yeah.
it's you know, it could be part of that if you want to look at it as a totally physical, psychological thing. But no, I know better because I know the spiritual aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's up to me
You're
to believe
way
my
more
reality.
tapped in now. Yeah. Yep.
It's up to me to believe my reality, not other people to define it for me.
Exactly. Yep.
You have
Agreed.
the inner knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they're
I
not
just
going.
freaking know.
Yeah.
If they haven't had the experiences
Yeah.
that create the inner knowing, they're going to have no idea what you're talking about. But
Exactly.
sooner or later, they will have that experience, and
Yeah.
they will look at it a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
Promise.
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
So you jogged my memory, Teresa. I actually know a way where the audience can practice developing how to see it. So it's how I learned how to do it. So what you'll do is you'll go into your room and dim the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Once the lights are dim, you're going to go into a meditative state while staring at your hand. As you are in that meditative state, staring at your hand, what you're going to do is, instead of focusing on the hand, you're going to focus on the outline of it.
Okay.
Make sure you have a white surface that is the background for it. So, for example, if you have white walls, you got it already. You don't have to do nothing. If you don't have white walls, if you like being different, just like get a giant canvas or something to put in front of you and use that.
There's a way that I was taught as well. If you take your fingers and hold it up in front of you like this, and you bring them closer and closer and closer together, you'll see the outline of the aura, and you can see it around it. It's kind of a trip. Try it right now, everybody in the audience. Just take your fingers and just bring them closer and closer, and then you'll see the outline. See it?
All I see is cat hair.
Yeah, there it goes. See, it's like a mirage.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out like a mirage. You'll see a shimmer.
Yeah. The same
Keep
thing with the way I do it.
Yep.
Yeah. It'll start out as a shimmer, like the heat wave thing.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Trippy.
But as you concentrate and focus on it for longer, you'll
see more and more.
colors. Yes.
If you're actually doing now, I don't know because I am not a trained Reiki healer or let alone a Reiki master like you and Brian. So I'm talking only from my experience as a healer.
Mm-hmm.
If I am trying to help somebody, even as an EMT or an emergency situation, or a child who's like an upset tummy, whatever it is, if I rub my hands together to help me focus my energy, I don't know why other people do the smack rub. I think it's the heat. They're building up the heat and the friction.
I know why. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, in a second. Yeah,
okay.
I'll do it. I'll do it myself, and I'll get within almost a touching. I don't have to touch. I could just hover right above their skin. And what I visualize, what I could do is I could see their inner flesh, and I could tell if their flesh has a dark spot or energy in it. I could see gray, black, and I see it's like a disease, like a cancer, but it's not. I'm not saying they have cancer. I know that that's an area that they've injured. They've either eaten something that doesn't agree with them if I see it in a certain region of the tummy, especially down low in the lower bowel. But if I see that shadow in the neck or shoulder, I could tell they've strained their neck or their shoulder. I see, just like I would auras, I see different colors in the body, in the tissue of something that they're saying is bothering them. Or they're saying they're having a lot of pain physically. I can scan the whole body and tell where that energy's bottled. And I could tell that they have a knot around the joint in their knee, or I can see it in their inner thigh. I can sense it. Not always, but most of the time. And I will see that shimmer that you all are talking about. That looks like when you drive down the highway and you see
the mirage effect.
Mirage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mirage.
Mm-hmm.
So your body produces pain, and it vibrates at a certain frequency. And if a person can come along and see your imprint, it's like taking an X-ray of your body.
Yeah,
that's the closest way I can describe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've experienced. Now, if I learned how to direct that if I learned through Jim, or if I took your classes, if I was in close proximity, and I learned how to actually focus this, I bet you I could do a pretty darn good service to someone. I could really help someone.
I do it like Nick. I like to slam my hands together a couple of times, a couple really solid slaps.
Yeah. So what's the point of that?
So Nick, and I just do it innately. I just know to do it. But what is the
you know how we have 7 primary chakras, right?
Yeah.
Well, the body has secondary chakras too, and 2 of them are in the palms of your hands.
Yeah.
So when you rub your hands together, you're activating those chakras
Mm-hmm.
for the healing process. And that's
Oh,
how you
wow.
that's how you connect your healing energy along with source's healing energy, and to fix the person that you're working on.
What's the
And
first
here
thing you
I
do
thought it
when
was
you?
because everybody watched the movie Karate Kid and were
No.
practicing
What's the
Miyagi
first
Do.
thing? What's the first thing you do when you hurt yourself? Ow!
Yeah.
You instantly, wherever, ow, your hand
Yes.
goes to. That's why.
Yep. That is a very elementary reaction to lay
Mhm.
on hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Yep.
That's why I grabbed my knee.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even before it starts to hurt, I could feel something's coming, and I put my hand on it, and it's fine, and I can stop it from hurting for a little while. You know,
Yeah.
because I know when it's getting ready to react to something.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I just thought everybody was watching that movie Karate Kid. You know, when Miyagi-Do goes
Oh yeah.
and he heals Daniel's wound. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. The more you know, right?
Right.
Like I said, what I'm teaching right now is usually hundreds of dollars. You're welcome. All right. So everyone ready?
Yes. Let's move on.
Okay. So red is the color of passion in general, but has many varieties. Dull red mixed with smoke indicates sensuality and lower animal passions. Red appearing as bright or lightning-like indicates anger. If it's behind a black background, it means this anger is stemming from hate or malice. Green background, it means the anger is stemming from jealousy. No background with anger is righteous indignation. Crimson red represents love, and the shade varies according to the person named. Brighter shades represent positive intentions and ideals, like, the whole picket fence, getting married, having 2 cars and a dog and a couple kids, the American dream. While so those are the brighter shades. And then the darker shades of that represent primal lust, the one night stands. So rose being the highest form of this between the sexes. So if red looks like a rosy color.
See, I told you I could tell when somebody's hitting on me before they even open their mouth.
Yep. You're on it. All you gotta do is get certified. I'm telling you.
She's certified already, I think.
I do too. She just doesn't got the piece of paper. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
The church itself, you're certified.
right. So then some more colors going on is brown, which is considered a reddish shade, shows avarice and greed. Orange represents pride and ambition. Yellow, in its various shades, represents intellect. Clear and golden shows high intellectual attainment. So Teresa complimented Lori there really well. It also means logical reasoning and unprejudiced judgment and discrimination. Dull yellow shows intellect fueling its mindset and plans towards selfish and low-ordered goals. Somewhere in the middle just shows that they are smart. Blues. So dark blue shows religious-fueled emotion, feelings, and tendencies in general. Brighter shades and shady shades show positive and negative religious intent. So look at a pastor.
Makes sense.
You want to know if your pastor is one of those weirdos or is a legit one? Figure out how to look at auras. If it's a light blue, he's good. It's a dark blue, he's using his authority to his advantage.
Passing the plate.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And no pretty words can hide that. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, do yourself.
So there you are.
Do this.
The light blue and the purple. See, there's the light blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, ultraviolet. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're getting into it. So light blues. This specific blue shows high attainment of spirituality. Sometimes it even has sparks similar to stars surrounding it, showing an even more advanced level of mastery. So the next two are ultraviolet and infrared. The true nature of these colors are not visible to human perception. However, they say the ultraviolet spectrum shows someone who uses white magic, while infrared shows someone who uses black magic. For context, look at the Dicenian glasses can do and the conspiracy about them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I've told this story before on the show, I believe, but with the Dicenian glasses, so during Vietnam, the U.S. government was working on night vision goggles. They started out with red infrared goggles. These goggles were picking up demonic entities that were participating in the Vietnam War.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Feeding themselves. I
And
would
they
imagine.
and they were soldiers were seen shooting at nothing
Wow.
because they saw these demonic like entities swarming all around. That's why they changed the color from red to green.
Yeah.
So this is also symbolic to
They were
live.
seeing creatures too. Weren't they? They were seeing
Yeah.
creatures too.
Oh, it's more than
Flying
just demons.
creatures.
It's more than just demons. You'll see anything in
Yeah.
the negative spectrum, or whether it's aliens, spiritual vampires, whatever. They're all there.
Yeah.
So this is what the movie They Live is
Yeah.
hinting at. Yes. He put on those glasses, he could see who was real and who wasn't, type of thing. So
Yep.
yes, I really want a pair. I do not know where to get them.
I'm sure you can get them on Amazon.
Yeah. Imagine.
Seriously, go to Amazon. I'm not lying.
Yeah. All right. And then I've never seen infrared, but I have seen ultraviolet doing Reiki. So there's that.
You can still get the original ones if you look at is it eBay? So some people still have the original when they made a public version as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the soldier. They came out with they made it into a toy, if you will, which is a horrific thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Because,
They're Force Awakening people. They're Force Awakening people. They do that to they do that to bench people, essentially. They did it to both of my friends that passed away. So
but you can go on eBay, I think, and put a bid on.
Yeah, I see a listing for it. They want $59.99 for it.
Same reasons why Ouija board's a toy for kids. They're benching. They're literally benching chosen people before they even get a chance. They make them go crazy because they experience those things. I call it Force Awakening. They experience those things before they're ready, and it fractures them at a mental standpoint. That you see it all the time. I talk about it later in later slides, I think, if I remember right. We'll be going over that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this stuff is real. So if you've ever
Ouija boards are very dangerous because, especially if you're a kid and you're using it, you're going to believe everything that comes through, and of course, those negative energies are going to feed on that. You have to learn about discernment. You have to learn about protection and protecting yourself. So any kind of divination tool, whether you're using a pendulum or the Ouija board, you seriously you have to know how to protect yourself. Yep. And you will get some hard ass lessons.
Yep.
Let me tell you.
The most important tool for this is self-awareness. Are you ready or not? Literally, seriously sit down with yourself and ask, am I ready for this step or not? Before attempting. Because if you're not ready, it ends up pretty bad.
Yeah.
So that's where
won't end well. It will not end well.
That's where you get things like schizophrenia developing. Yep. That's how it happens.
Yep. So. You're opening a gateway, a doorway to those energies.
And you are opening it on a negative frequency.
Exactly.
So you're not going to get all the angels and dandelions and rainbows. You're going
Your intent is everything.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mindset is extremely important.
Yeah.
Knowing your limits also extremely important.
Yep.
So this is not a game.
No.
So yes, always keep those things in mind. So there's two more colors.
Okay.
And the Rosicrucians call them legendary. Master key to the social spectrum. So there is a thing called a true primary yellow. Apparently, the yellow that me and you see isn't the real yellow. It represents the highest spiritual illumination of the intellect.
And it's more golden, I
It's
believe.
golden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, because from what
That's where the alchemy comes in from. That's where the alchemy comes.
Definitely
it's a
golden.
thread.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yep.
From what the book was
Well,
saying
it's
is
symbolic, son.
yeah. From what the book was telling me, you can't really see it, even if you have the gift. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
No, what you see instead, I'll tell you what I see.
Okay.
I'll see a pale, bright light around someone. And if their aura is showing a paler yellow, not a real bright yellow, it'll start out that way, but it becomes a sparkling show of fireworks for me. In that I'll see gold spurs, I'll see gold rods shooting off. They're reflecting the sunlight and they look like bars of gold, but they're more like flakes. Some of them are cylindrical, elongated, and some are shorter like a flame. But from a distance, I'll see a sparkling. Yeah, I get the sensation of a million stars when I'm looking at the person. It's kind of like, do you remember when people used to paint the Blessed Virgin Mary as a Catholic symbol for the birth mother of Jesus Christ, and they have the stars over her head, that halo over the head that the masters are always painted with.
It's the same
Like
color
Jesus
as the
did.
sun.
That
It's
makes
that
sense.
It's
golden.
the same color as the sun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get what you're saying now. That makes sense.
And so I think what they mean by primary yellow being the highest spiritual, it's that because once you have become back into your true highest nature of self, which is your God quality, you are in full-on creation mode. You are creator.
Mm.
We are all one with creator. We are in creator's image. We are creator. We're an aspect of creator. So when you've reached that level of spiritual development, that's going to be your purest form, that with the white,
Mm-hmm.
which has always been the symbol of peace, hope, love, the dove.
Mm-hmm.
Message, the word of God that fell on the master's shoulder. The pure white and the yellow gold interacting together is what alchemizes your spirit into its godlike substance, its original natural substance. That's just my understanding of it. That's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe. That's true.
Makes sense to
Interesting.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Teresa. I
Yeah.
felt like I was just
Sure.
missing one tiny little fuzzy piece, and you just went bam.
That's just, it's
Yeah.
become my knowing. It's not something I've read somewhere. It's something I've experienced. That's what I feel.
You
I'm just
trust
sharing
it
with
too.
you what I feel. Yeah, I trust
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
besides this golden yellow, the other one is pure white, as Teresa says. Pure white represents the presence of an awakened spirit. These two are said to be very hard to describe, but that is the best way to put it. That's what the book claims, but Teresa just did it easily.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. I didn't get to this part of your book either. I haven't had a chance. I've been getting ready for this house. I just haven't had a chance, but yeah.
So all of these colors are an invaluable tool for discernment in regards to gauging a person and their nature. Hence why I am extremely selective on who I associate with and why I can't stand being in large public places or events.
Ooh, I feel you there.
Not only have I seen your colors, but I can tap in more often on the feel of it and even smell. Start making better life choices. You got to wash yourself, symbolically, before you get access to me on a more intimate or friendship level. As they say, my body is a temple, but as I also say, no stinkies allowed. And you, the viewer, should also demand that boundary. This
Yes.
is why metaphysical practitioners get paid to do these cleanses and analysis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
And you can do this for yourself.
yep.
It's actually, I believe it's more powerful when you do it for yourself because you have that power of intent.
Yeah, it's the power of the intent and the power of the will.
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
No doubt.
Awesome.
Very cool. Oh, there's our famous painter dude.
white, black, and the three primary aura colors. Like with how they taught you in school, the primary aura colors are red, blue, and yellow, along with black and white. These colors, when blended in different combinations, make all the other colors. Black is an absence of color, the antithesis to spirit, while white is a mixture of all the different colors, the thesis of spirit.
Makes sense.
Black mixed with others gives shades, while white gives tints. It's hence why they say, oh, if the color looks brighter, it's usually a positive emotion, while when the color looks darker, it's a negative emotion. That's the nature of the matter. The red group represents the physical. The blue group represents religion and spiritual aspects. The yellow group represents intellect. White represents the true spirit, while black represents the negation of spirit. Anyone who works with tarot cards should be noticing that these color codes are the exact way that you get taught how to interpret the cards. So there's that link. I thought I would just sprinkle that in there for
Yeah, it's interesting. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The blending of all these are manifested through the individual's emotions. No different with how light works. This is a part of the puzzle to why Tesla says frequency and vibrations are keys to the universe. Frequency bends light, thus creates the different colors. Hence why color-coded things are linked with symphonics.
Yep.
Hence why the lower and higher hertz are linked to certain states of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same stuff. It's all put together.
It's all vibration.
And the magician who understands that can do a lot of stuff that a normal person can't. So. Some things to note about all of this. The student with some perception will ask, how does the intellect yellow and spiritual blue have the capacity to create a deceitful green? With this example in mind, here's a quote to the secret. To those who are fond of analysis of this kind, I will drop the following hint, which may help them in the matter. The key is found in the fact that green lies in the center of the spectrum and is a balance of the two extremes, and is also influenced by these extremes in a startling manner. These colors don't just activate through specific emotional and mental states. The Rosicrucians also teach the student to apply the principle of action and reaction. If you focus on a specific color, forcing it to manifest in your mind's eye, you can use that color to amplify the benefits of what that color represents to your physical self to complete goals. This is them hinting at how to wield magic with intent.
Mm-hmm.
An important thing to know for any who wish to advance in this field.
Mm-hmm.
You can even do this with the colors to mend others, applying them to healing skills like Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Let's now explore that into the next slide. The therapeutic scales of color. Blues, violets, lavenders, so on, when used for Reiki purposes, have a cooling and soothing effect upon the nervous system, the blood, and the bodily organs. Grass greens have a resting and invigorating effect upon the same things. Yellows and oranges have an inspiring and illuminating effect upon the mental faculties. Reds, especially scarlets and bright reds, have an exciting and stimulating effect on the mind and body. So yes, you can visualize the color in your head and you're going to apply it to the magic. So for an example, you want to pass your test in your college course. While you're studying, Visualize yellow. And you will be kind of surprised of how effective that is. Just as an example. So,
What color would you focus on?
yellow. Because it's for academic. It's for the intellectual side of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get better at sex, you want to satisfy your partner, you think red. And you really want to knock the rockers off, think dark red. You're welcome. Jasmine can confirm.
I already told you, I already know that one.
Yeah, Jasmine can confirm. She knows.
So it's interesting on this scale that the G, these are frequency tones as well. So you can utilize not only the color, but the frequency that it creates as well.
Yes. So what this is basically showing is what note is what color, basically.
Yeah.
So if you have any knowledge in music theory, this will make a lot of sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you're going to have to do some research.
Yeah.
Well, we have in our playlist a series of videos we've done about the auras and about sound. And we had a guest on from Australia that was teaching us about the different sound. So we've done about, 3-4 programs on this?
Mm-hmm.
Brian has brought in Jim.
Yeah.
To go over, we went over auras with Brian, and we went over. So check out our video library on the either one, I think, on Andromeda and Pure Love. And it'll be in our playlist. Look for the one with Grandpa Brian and Jim from All My Relations. And it'll be in there about auras. And there's a series of not like this, not this many, but about maybe three different shows that we've done on it, including the music of sound and light. Sound, light, and auras.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wonderful shows. They were great shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this is cool.
Okay, Nick.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone's liking it. I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
I think this part of the teachings is really fun. So
It is. Yeah.
What's Barry saying? Red and gold together for a sexual energy.
Yeah, that was a good thing to bring up because that's actually colors that I use for Kundalini or Tantra when I was using it. It's only for my significant other now, but you know.
Well, you know what I would call that?
What?
Is, okay, there's getting together for sexual energy for the purposes of lust. And then there's getting together to share the sexual energy for the purposes of a higher intended relationship.
Yep.
And if you truly love and care for someone, and you're really trying to work with each other to elevate each other's consciousness, you go into that relationship with a pure intent.
Yeah.
So when you be a bonding.
When you make love to someone like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's where that energy would come in, that golden energy would come in with that red energy.
Yep.
Is because you're creating something sacred, a moment, a sacred experience. It doesn't have to be conception necessarily, but I'm just saying that it's that intimacy between two people who really have trust and care for one another. Mm-hmm. It's love.
Yep.
It's totally separate from the violent, dark, not violent, but the overly passionate, heavy, dark red energy. Like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And then if you remember in the previous episodes when I was talking about the planes of being,
yeah,
picking those choices determines if you become more animal or more demigod. You pick the more positive side of things, that is you embodying the demigod stage, and you will ascend.
Yeah.
You embody the animalistic side too much, that's when you revert back to an animal.
You'll get more of the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
is it as once you watch all these videos, you'll see how it correlates. So.
Yes, right on, Barry. That's exactly right. Yep. Red creates excitement and gold creates warm, intimate energy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the protective aura, also known as the art of shielding. So yes, not only am I going to teach you what the colors mean, I'm also going to teach how shielding is. How about that? Another $100 course that I'm teaching for free. You're welcome. So all my relations already taught me this, but I will go over how the Rosicrucians explain it. We instruct our pupils of the creation and maintenance of the protective aura. This is a shelter of soul, mind, and body against evil influences directed to them, whether they're consciously or subconsciously doing it. This protective aura is an effective armor against all invasions of psychic attacks. Yes, I said psychic attacks.
Yep.
If you haven't realized it yet, yes, this stuff is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish my friend Jerry applied it, as it is a full counter to the dis-ease he was enduring.
Mm-hmm.
Psychic vampirism, black magic, and so on. This art of energy manipulation is extremely valuable against malevolent forces of all kinds. The method to form this is very simple. It consists of mental imagery accompanied by a demand of the will. So this is what you're going to do. Like how you visualize the colors in your head, you can do this as well. Surround yourself, and by yourself I mean your entire body, with aura of pure, clear, bright white. You're going to want to visualize this into your mind's eye, and you are going to demand it through will. You're not going to be like, oh, maybe you can give me the shielding. No, you're going to demand it, like you're someone from like Beverly Hills. You're going to be that stuck up about it. You're gonna say it like you mean it. Gonna put some hairs on your chest when you mean it. All right?
Yeah.
That's how you go about it. You can't be no limp noodle.
Right. Because the stronger the intent, the stronger the protection.
Exactly. So with some practice, you will start to even feel the presence of this protective aura. This white light is the radiation of spirit, and spirit is master of all things. Hence why it's so good at protecting. Anything with malevolent intent wants to go in that, they can't. Why? Because universal law. They can't touch that.
There is a place that I used to go when I first started channeling and really channeling. And I would tell Lori, I ended up in a cocoon. And it was like a white, surrounded by a white fuzzy cotton. Is instead of a sphere like this figure is showing in this picture, I didn't see myself inside of an energy ball. I saw myself inside of a cocoon. It was very comfortable. It was very comforting. It was soft and nurturing, and I was protected while my body, physical body, was being used for some other entity to come in and have a message. My conscious awareness was in another place, and I called it a cocoon because that was the closest I could come. And then from there, I found out I don't have to be in a cocoon. There's nothing to fear from the channeling. Mm-hmm. Why did I fear I had to go into a cocoon? I didn't. So I would travel to another location. And I even had Lori send an aspect of herself to that location so I could feel secure. Then once I got familiar with that, I could just go just about anywhere. I think I'll go visit whatever. Or I think I'll go to this place. And bring me back, Lori, when you think I've had enough, or bring me back, bring me back. Because I didn't know how to come back. I didn't know how to come back.
All I had to do was say your name.
I wasn't really leaving. I was,
All I had to do was say your name to get you to come back.
Yeah. So I think there's something to this, is all I'm saying. And that is that you surround yourself with this clear, bright essence of it's pure love. It's pure spirit. Mm-hmm. In its purest form.
Yep.
With that being said, it is very important to remember and note that this is a defensive spell at the fundamental level. It must never be used to attack or for personal gain. Why is that, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple. Natural law. You are embodying white. White is the true embodiment of spirit. Yeah. If you attach personal gain or aggressiveness, that color is going to change. Yeah. What happens when the color changes? If the malevolent force,
you're vulnerable.
Yeah. Yep. If the malevolent force is experienced, you will see that as a chink in your armor, and it will get in. It's that simple. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, from previous slides, I was talking about why imagination is important on becoming a very adept magician. you can apply it to this for some reason. It doesn't have to be just a white bubble. You can make your own flair to it. You can make your own style. So for me, for example, I'm not going to tell you all of my tricks, but I'll tell you a couple. I embody myself with a draconic armor. It looks like dragon ceremonial armor.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I put that on, instead of a bubble, I use a bunch of jagged quartz crystal that's reflective jagged quartz crystal. It'll come up like ching, 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 ching.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
It still encompasses my entire being,
Mm-hmm.
but I put my own flair to it.
It's more deflective. And
I deflect with it,
yep.
yes. I learned that from a friend of ours I know my relations named Tracy, because Tracy told me she uses a disco ball to do that.
Yeah.
Sounds like disco ball sounds lame. How can I do it for me?
Yeah.
But it's me. So I thought of the crystals. So
Beautiful.
just an example. So once you start getting the basics down, you can start making your own.
Yeah. And be as creative as you want.
More
because it's in the creativity that makes it stronger. In my opinion.
Exactly. The more creative it is, the harder it is to get figure it out. Essentially.
I used to believe at one time, this is years back, that even if I protected myself in a bubble of truth, in a bubble, a protective bubble, that I would still have to allow any kind of negativity to be grounded out through, and that the bubble could be penetrated or cracked or broken into by anything that was trying to get to you from the outside. Then I evolved into thinking, well, that's not true, because I'm all powerful, because I am one. I am. Therefore, you can't prove to me that anybody can penetrate my armor. And I would get into these back and forths with people in this community, would be like all over me. Oh, yes, they can. You have no idea. I'm like, yes, I do.
No.
I have every idea.
You're a sovereign being.
I know what it is.
Being. Yeah.
There's nothing that can do that unless you let it in, unless you do something to invite it and bring it in through your thought. Listen, everything we are is consciousness. We exist because we just frickin' exist. And we exist because we know we exist because we're conscious of the fact that we exist. There's no such thing as non-existence.
It's the I am presence.
It's the I am presence. And so you can go out there and play Harry Potter all you want and throw your little wands at me and cast your little spells and cast your little crystals and cast your little stones. You have no power over me. I don't care how magical you think you are. I don't care how advanced you think you are. You can't penetrate my force. The only way I can be brought down through a psychic attack is not because 5 of you got together and dreamed a little dream that I would have a psychic attack. I don't believe it. I don't accept it. I don't believe it. If I am feeling sick to my stomach, it isn't because you got together and had a little dream to make me sick. It's because I ate something I shouldn't have eaten, or I put myself in the frame of mind that I knew you guys were upset with me and you were getting together and you were going to do something to me. And so I allowed that thought to enter my mind. I gave it my thought, conscious focus. So if I'm pure consciousness, and I'm pure energy, I can focus that consciousness and that energy. So I say to people, I have built a permanent shield around myself. Whatever you cast at me, it's going to come back and it's going to hit you right between the eyes, double hard, because you had an intent against me to do me harm. And that's against natural law. So anything you throw at me, you're going to get right back in your face, because it's not me that's throwing it. I have thought this for years, and the closer I get to spirit, the more I know I'm right. Because I don't have entities in my house anymore. I was allowing that to come through in various ways. I've closed that off. I don't need to run around now and close portals and do all that. It's already closed because I've already said it's not going to affect me. You see?
Yep.
So I've been tested. I've passed those initiations. I've passed those tests. So yes, there's malevolent forces out there. But what's important about what Nick is sharing, I believe, the importance of this teaching right now is that visualization. Lori gave it to me a long time ago. Visualize, you just have a great big ball, a heart, and you're just throwing the heart at that entity, and you're killing it with love. You know, you're not
You just
killing
send
it,
it love.
Love. And
they run for the hills. They just run.
And they do. And I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So this method is very powerful because it helps you visualize in your consciousness. It could just as well be a cube or a triangle or a pyramid or as it is a sphere. For me, it was a cocoon where I went and rested. So it can be whatever you want that unconscious symbol to be. And it's that symbol is really you. It's really your own consciousness protecting yourself from other people's consciousness that want to yield and do things with not so good intent towards you. So it's a wonderful practice. It helps you get strong spiritually until eventually you don't need to even visualize it anymore. You just know it's there. Right?
When I call in spirit, I always say all of positive light. So I allow all of positive light to come in because positive is good and that's what's going to help me. So I don't even acknowledge the darker side. I'm only focused on positive light.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've been approached by people even at these craft fairs or these medieval fairs where I'm a great magician and I can, I have snake power. And I can do this to you, and I can do that to you. I'm like, yeah, you can do it to yourself. Because if you think that way towards me, it's just going to, that little snake of yours go bite you on the butt. You only have power if I give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? You're about this powerful, little man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But they think they're such great musicians. They wear medallions and their little hats and their little wizard wands, and they think they're the greatest things in sliced cheese. That's their fantasy. My reality is that you don't exist, and I don't play in your fantasy. So that's how you have to think about it, folks. If you really want to protect yourself, just know that you are a sovereign, powerful being within your own right.
Right.
And no one and nothing can do anything to you unless you allow it to happen. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't mean natural things like you're in a war, you get gunshot. Can you get a sword stab? Of course you can. Can you drink poison? Of course you can. But those are things that happen as a result of other actions that you're taking. You're bringing it on yourself. You're putting yourself in harm's way. You decided to join the war. You decided to yield a weapon. You decided to get into a sword fight.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that plan is for you, right?
Yeah.
It's not a spiritual attack.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Oh man, telling them about accountability. Oh dear. All right. Well, yeah, it's very, very well said.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't say it better. So. Oh, something to note. When I was saying like these are like classes, they are classes. They get taught. I can go even deeper than this. And once my website is up, I'll be announcing it. I will be making paid classes for stuff like this. Me and Jasmine.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yep.
And good for others.
Yep. So stay tuned for that. We'll get to it eventually.
Cool. Nice.
Very cool.
All right. So the final thoughts. The training wheels are starting to come off. There are entities in the astral plane either excited or enraged at the fact that I am sharing these secrets to the public. I even gained Plato as a guide during this trial and have other entities keeping tabs on my progression. Anticipant nos intellegre nos Dios esse. You, the viewer, were given a bit to show what I have went through recently, but you have absolutely no idea how hard they tried to delay this video from coming out. this week, one of my brothers of 20 years committed suicide.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was part of it. I feel like part of this was them spirit seeing, am I about it or am I not? So yeah, I'm going through it, and I'm still doing what I believe in. I showed them, all of them, my resolve, and it's creating quite a stir. Ego ludere vincere. The spiritual unseen war has always been active, but if you haven't been living under a rock, you have noticed how it is escalating throughout the world. Nunc tempest est hanc sempientium adhiebere. Steel yourself, O student, for the trials and tribulations will get tougher before it gets better. I am in full confidence you will graduate alongside me when that time comes. Num tabalam smaradignam cordistiu osculatibus. I am exposing the false light by being this messenger of truth and showing you how to negate their vile tactics. They can't stand the fact that Thoth himself is sponsoring me, as it is a declaration that is indeed time to teach publicly. That makes them lose power. Welcome to the pregame of the Sixth Epoch. See you next episode and the final part of the Rosicrucians. Namaste discipuli me carissimi.
Namaste. Beautiful.
Namaste.
Yep. If you want to know what that says, just pause it and go into Google Translate. It's Latin.
Yep.
So.
It's Latin. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
And notice that I color coded them.
Yes.
Yes, I see that.
Yes.
It's a little hint on
The
how
blue, the red, the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hint. So just pay attention.
Well
to that,
done,
viewer.
Nick.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah. Very well
You
done.
clever fellow.
Yes.
Clever fellow. I like it.
Awesome. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys, we're about 2 hours, and that's about the max.
And thanks, Nick, for doing this, even though you went through this week. It was a very tough week, given the situation.
Yes.
And
I
really
think
appreciate you.
Proved that nothing was going to stop you. So
Yeah.
you managed that quite well. So good for you.
Thank you.
Yes. Excellent. Well,
the schedule. I am moving soon,
Mhm.
so we will be in touch with people. But if you look at the schedule real quick, and I brought up the calculator instead of the calendar. Sir, today's the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And so
9/19. It's all nines. Completion.
So the 26th is still good. The 26th is still good, right, Lori?
Mm-hmm.
It's the 3rd that's probably going to be. I'm probably going to need the 3rd.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a break for a few, at least a couple of weeks, to help Teresa get settled. She's moving the next town over, very close to me, about 10 minutes. So I'm going to be helping her get settled. A lot going on. So we're going to take at least a couple of weeks off. But Nick, we do have next week, and we're willing to do that with you if you'd like.
Okay, cool. Well, this next episode will be the last one. It will go over their version of the 7 Hermetic principles of universal law. So
great.
This is the Rosicrucian version. It's mostly the same, but they call, I think, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So very good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. All right. Well, then we will see you next week for the final episode of the Esoteric Secret Societies. Part 6 will be the finale, and we're looking forward to that and what you've got to bring to that. Brian, thank you so much for being here. Nick, as always, thank you. Teresa, and of course, Sophia, we think about you, love you, miss you. Can't wait to see you. I'm really missing her. And
I know.
Everyone in chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us, especially on your Friday. Take it all in and make up your own mind and decision. And of course, you're the final thought on whatever you want to believe. But hopefully, we gave you something to think about. Yep. And
to the folks that our friends and all my relations, I hope you have a terrific retreat with Brian on his cabin. Mm-hmm. This weekend, all of you, Nick, Jazz, all of you.
Yep. Enjoy
Have a
yourselves.
great time.
Yep. And let loose a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we'll see you next week, and have a wonderful week. And thanks again for watching. Peace and love, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody, good night.